Past continuous. What it is. The past continuous, also called the past progressive, describes an action that was happening at a particular moment in the past and was not yet finished. How to build it. Take be in the past and add the ing form of the verb. I was walking. You were walking. He was walking. She was walking. It was walking. We were walking. You were walking. They were walking. Was for I, he, she, and it. Were for you, we, and they. First use. One action inside another. The past continuous is normally used when one action began before another and finished after it. I was reading when he arrived. In other words, I began reading, perhaps at 7. Then he arrived, perhaps at 8. Then I finished reading, perhaps at 9. The reading surrounds the arrival. The long action takes the past continuous. The short action takes the past simple. Second use. At a particular hour. We use it for an action already underway at a specific time. At 5 o'clock, it was raining. It began to rain, perhaps at 4. It stopped later, perhaps at 7. At 5 it was already raining. Third use. Two actions at once. When two actions continue at the same time in the past, both take the past continuous. While I was sleeping, she was working. We both began at 10, and we both finished later, perhaps at midnight. While and when. While usually introduces the long action. When usually introduces the short one. While I was cooking, the telephone rang. I was cooking when the telephone rang. 50 examples. 1. I was reading when he arrived. 2. She was cooking when I came in. 3. They were sleeping when the alarm went off. 4. He was driving when the accident happened. 5. We were eating when the lights went out. 6. I was walking home when I met her. 7. She was working when her son called. 8. He was crossing the road when the car appeared. 9. They were laughing when the teacher entered. 10. I was writing when the pen ran out. 11. At 5 o'clock, it was raining. 12. At midnight, we were still dancing. 13. At 8, I was having breakfast. 14. At 3 in the morning, everybody was sleeping. 15. This time last year, I was living in Spain. 16. Yesterday at noon, she was traveling to Rome. 17. At that moment, he was waiting outside. 18. While I was sleeping, she was working. 19. While he was cooking, I was setting the table. 20. While they were arguing, we were watching. 21. While the sun was shining, the children were playing. 22. While she was studying, her brother was making noise. 23. While I was cooking, the telephone rang. 24. While we were talking, he fell asleep. 25. I was cooking when the telephone rang. 26. We were talking when he fell asleep. 27. It was snowing when we left the house. 28. The birds were singing in the garden. 29. The traffic was moving very slowly. 30. Everybody was looking at her. 31. Nobody was listening. 32. He was wearing a black coat. 33. She was carrying a heavy bag. 34. They were standing at the bus stop. 35. The children were running in the corridor. 36. I was thinking about you. 37. She was smiling at somebody. 38. We were living in a small flat then. 39. He was working as a waiter that summer. 40. They were building the new bridge. 41. What were you doing at 10 o'clock? 42. Where were you going? 43. Who were you talking to? 44. Why was she crying? 45. Was it raining when you left? 46. Were they waiting for us? 47. I wasn't sleeping, I was reading. 48. She wasn't listening to the teacher. 49. We weren't expecting visitors. 50. They weren't playing, they were arguing. Remember. Was or were, plus the ing form. The long action is continuous, The short one is simple. At 5 o'clock, it was raining, already underway. Two long actions together, both continuous.